Yes, I'm totally aware of the fact that I didn't upload a video this Sunday, and there was a good reason for that, but I'm going to get into that in a minute. But for those of you who didn't know, I had already come up with an upload schedule that I'll be uploading a new video every Thursday and Sunday last month. And back then, my goal was at least to be able to stick to the schedule for the whole month of July, which was a great success. I uploaded a new video every Thursday and Sunday of the month of July. You can go ahead and check on the channel. But I didn't upload a video on the very 1st of August, which was a Sunday, and there was a good reason for that, and let me tell you what. But before that, let me show you a new channel logo that I had made and a good logo reveal for that. Go ahead, check it out first.
It all started with a dream. Not the one that you see while you're asleep, but rather the one that you see while you're wide awake. Yes, even I was born a nestling, another baby bird inside the nest waiting for my maiden flight. But I couldn't wait long enough to get my wings and soar through the skies as high as possible, as quickly as possible. If you didn't know, only 3 out of 10 people even ever think of becoming a pilot. And guess what? Only one of those 3 is passionate enough to move on and successfully become a pilot. This is my story of how I, another common guy just like you, belonging to a middle-class family, an average student, could follow my passion, my dream, the same one that I used to see while awake, and get the wings and spread them to fly high. This is how I became a pilot.
Whoa, what a logo that was, and as you guys can see, the logo is self-explanatory. The channel name is the FlyTuber, flying simplified through YouTube, and that is why that aircraft is replaced instead of the play button in that YouTube logo. So that's how I came up with the idea, and all credits goes to your Uncle G, the Chacha G, right? He suggested me with this. He just gave an idea and I then again built up on it, and that's what finally got created. So the reason why I didn't upload a video this Sunday was that logo that you saw. It required me to learn new softwares that I didn't know previously. Obviously right now I'm not a pro at these softwares, but at least I had to learn the basics, and that's what needs a lot of time. And apart from that, also there was a new channel that I had to create, and you know, the logo for that channel, the names and channel setup, etc. That channel is, you know, it belongs to your and our Uncle G. Chacha Ji ने एक नया channel YouTube पे खोल लिया है, and in a while I'll allow Chacha Ji himself to come over and tell you about this channel, what its name is and what the channel is all about. But before that, let's get to today's video itself. It's about my story, how I became a pilot, and yeah, let's get into this topic first. So a quick heads up, this video is the first video in an entire playlist on my journey, right? So I'm going to be coming up with further videos that'll be more detailed, and you know, they'll be split up into parts, and each part will be telling you about a particular phase in my life in detail, so that you guys can know as much details as I can possibly give you. But before I get into very detailed and you know, a lot of information and making really lengthy journey, you know, in 4 or 5 parts, before that I thought it's good that I give a really small one video and very quick kind of. This video is about when and where. I mean when did I get a particular thing from my journey done, and where did I do it? For example, when did I do my class 12th and where, and when did I do my flying and where, so those things. So let's quickly start off with my journey. So the year was 2016. I passed my class 12th from a reputed school, the Hyderabad Public School here in Hyderabad, one of the amazing schools, and I'm really thankful to the school there and all the teachers that taught me. So I passed my class 12th in 2016, and the very same year, obviously, I gave a lot of entrance examinations for, you know, IITs and different institutions and engineering colleges, but still I decided to go ahead with my pilot training. In 2016 August is when I started the training. In fact, it really coincides with my birthday. 14th August is when I completed with all the formalities, and 14th August is also my birthday, so coming up very soon. But very immediately after that, you know, immediately after the Independence Day holidays, our training started, our ground training started in Telangana State Aviation Academy. It's a government government, partially government funded flying school here in Hyderabad, based out of the old airport, Begumpet Airport. So I enrolled in this flying school and I started preparation for the DGCA examinations. There were good ground school over there, but still I went to another ground school, a separate ground school named as V2 Aviation Academy. I've already talked about that in my previous video, but Captain Murtaza Ali leads this ground training institution. I went to him and I cleared all my papers in one attempt. There is not a single paper that I gave twice, apart from RTR, which is a kind of a tricky question paper, kind of a tricky subject, and in the first attempt I didn't exactly know how the question paper in fact is. But yeah, so otherwise all the other papers I cleared in one attempt, and then I started off with my flying, and initially there was a little delay, but soon flying started, and in 2018, 20th of January, I got my first solo. What an amazing day. And I know I do follow other fellow aviators and their YouTube channels. So obviously I know you guys already are aware of Captain Tapesh Kumar, right? He's also in AirAsia, and he explained his journey of how he got his first solo, and very similar to that, even I cried out a lot. I mean, I gave a shout of joy as soon as I took off. I didn't even turn for my crosswind leg, but I really shouted, and I was really happy and extremely excited, fully energetic that I am now in command of a whole airplane, nobody else on board this aircraft. So that was an amazing day. I did one circuit and landed. Further details, I mean, that particular day requires a separate video. Obviously, that will be coming up in further this entire series of my journey. But yeah, 20th January, I got my first solo, and then cross countries and night flying and instrument flying, all of those things happened. I completed my flying in, by the end of the year. I mean, in October, I completed my flying. And my multi-engine training I did from another flying club also situated in the same airport. It is APFT, Asia Pacific Flying Training. It is undertaken by GMR. However, I did my multi-engine flying over there, and I completed my multi-engine and all the CPL requirements and flying and everything by October. Applied for my license, got my license in early November, and immediately went off for my type rating, A320 type rating, because back then the market for A320 was like booming. Anybody with an A320 type rating was, almost his job was, you could say, it's guaranteed. So obviously I also followed the trend, and obviously I had a close look at market, what things are going on. And November 2018 was still an amazing time to get yourself A320 type rated. I got myself type rated on Airbus 320 from Sharjah, Pier 7 Aviation Academy, and once I did that, I returned by mid-December, and then the most important and most scary thing for any aviator is getting a job. And there wasn't any job opening for, I think, about 2 to 3 months after I came back from my type rating. But in that point of time, I went to this person known as Captain Sandesh Baheti, with whom I already made a collab video before. He is a great type rating instructor. I mean, he does not instruct you in the simulators, but he is a good person to do your ground subjects of A320. I mean, he's really good at explaining the systems and then explaining the basic cockpit flows to you. He makes you really ready before you even go for your type rating. Obviously, I went to Captain Sandesh Baheti even before I left for my type rating, for my basic training for about 25 days. And then after I returned from type rating, he started teaching me from airline selection process kind of view. So how can I tackle those? Amazing guy. I also recommend him for A320. Also, he also does take classes for CPL, but I haven't taken those classes, but I'm sure it'd be really good. So it's up to you guys. So in that 2 to 3 months when there was no vacancy coming up, I prepared along with him and then with my friends, and obviously alone at home as well. I prepared A320 as much as I could about its systems and how the things work, how to deal with the failures and all of those sorts of things. And in February 2019, finally there was this notification, the invitation to apply the vacancy in AirAsia India. And I was really happy and excited. That vacancy was A320 type rated pilots. I did apply for that. Went through for the examination. I think the examination was on 24th of February, and then phase 2 and 3 were in April, mid to end of April, like the interview and simulator check and all of those things. And I finally did thankfully clear that vacancy. I got selected. Not many people got selected in that vacancy. By the way, how many? I'll be letting you know maybe later on. And in fact, a very, very small percentage of the total people who appeared for the examination cleared, and thankfully I was one of them. All the hard work that I did paid off, and I joined my airline AirAsia in mid of May 2019, and that was my story all the way from class 12th to an airliner cockpit. Just a summary of it, but let me tell you one thing, my entire story is really full, jam packed with masala, packed with drama and amazing story. It's not a normal story. Each part, each phase, obviously I'm sure that other pilots also have an interesting, every pilot has an interesting story to share, and so does mine. I also have an interesting story, not very normal one. I'm sure many of you guys might be like, what was this? Ye kya tha? You should have given more details about your journey, and I'm totally aware of the fact that this video wasn't as detailed. It was kind of a summary, put it in a nutshell as fast as I could. Just a brief summary and overview of my journey. But like I said, I'll be coming up with more detailed videos, and I'm sure you guys want to know in detail about my journey. For that, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell icon. I'll be coming up with further more detailed videos in parts, exactly in this separate playlist that I have created on my journey, and in parts I'll be making the video and I'll be sharing as much detail as I possibly can. So yeah, stick ahead with the channel, and yeah, let's invite very quickly Uncle Ji to tell you about his channel.
तो हेलो बच्चा लोग, देखो भाई, ये आपको पता होगा, ऑल वर्क एंड नो प्ले मेक्स जैक अ डल बॉय। सिर्फ काम करो लेकिन खेलो नहीं, ये बहुत गलत बात है। तो अभी इन्होंने चैनल खोला, आपने इनको सपोर्ट करा, बहुत सही बात। मैंने भी एक चैनल खोला कल, आपको जिसको नहीं पता, कल मेरा बर्थडे था, तो मैंने कल चैनल खोल दिया, साथ में बर्थडे हो गया चैनल का भी। तो वो जो चैनल है मेरा, वो है गेमिंग का। ये अपना सीरियस मसला चलता रहता है, उसका मतलब नहीं है। जो अपना गेमिंग चैनल है, वहाँ पर मैं बहुत सारे गेम्स खेलता हूँ। फ्री फायर हो गया, बगमी हो गया, स्टैंड ऑफ 2 हो गया, मैकरीना हो गया। आगे बढ़ते जाएंगे तो पीसी गेम्स भी खेलेंगे, GTA 5, काउंटर स्ट्राइक, बहुत सारे गेम्स खेलेंगे। तो आप लोग अगर इंटरेस्टेड हैं तो सब्सक्राइब करिएगा। हैदर गेमिंग करके एक नाम है, लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएगा आपको, और इनके फीचर सेक्शन में भी आपको मिल जाएगा। तो दोनों को सब्सक्राइब करिए, सपोर्ट करिए। अरे भाई, इंटरेस्ट नहीं है तो अभी सपोर्ट करने में क्या जाता है, तो सब्सक्राइब कर लेना, ठीक है। तो ये था भाई आज की वीडियो के लिए। अगर ये इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं करा है तो कर देना, साथ में हैदर गेमिंग तो ऑब्वियसली कर ही देना। तो मिलते हैं अगली वीडियो में, तब तक के लिए बाय।